My name is Emmanuella. I'm 20. I'm a student midwife. I'm in my first year. I also sing, I worship, I write as well, and yeah. Well, my tag name, my brand name as I call it, is A Daily Dose of Ella, and what I do is I post motivational quotes every single morning, and once a month I write a piece on my blog on WordPress about issues that I feel affect everyone, self-acceptance, forgiveness, money, about being the CEO of your own life. I just write to motivate and encourage people through life. I would say my best quality is that I'm a really generous person. I'm kind, just out from the bottom of my heart to anybody. I can meet you today and be kind to you tomorrow. It doesn't matter how long I've known you for. If you ever need my help, I will always be there to help you. No, I can't dance. I wish I could, but no, I can't dance. My favourite song right now would be Victory Belongs to Jesus. I've been playing that song continuously. I play it before I sleep, I play it first thing in the morning. Yeah. My greatest victory, I would say, is overcoming all the challenges that I've faced in my life as I've been growing up, and overcoming one challenge in particular, which was coming to terms with something that happened to me that I kept to myself for a very long time. My story, so at the age of 9, I was sexually abused by a very, very close family friend, a very close person he was very close to my parents. And if my parents hadn't been there, I would go to him and his wife as my second parents. It was strange because this person in question had always shown a particular interest in me, but within my culture it's seen as, oh, it's just because, oh, he just likes her because like he likes her like his daughter or like his niece. And I don't know how many people are familiar with this, but sometimes you'll meet one uncle and they'll be like, oh, this is my wife, this is my little wife, and no one really saw it as anything serious, and neither did my parents, neither did anyone around me. But it got to one day and it developed, and what he said he actually tried to manifest, and from that point on it was every single time that I would go around to their house something like this would happen. And I'll never sit here and say that I blame my parents. No, my parents are not to blame, because these were people that they trusted with their children. Just as you would trust a childminder to look after your child, that was the kind of trust that my parents had in these people as well. It went on a few occasions across a year until one day, I don't know what happened, but the relationship between my parents and them somehow fell apart. It wasn't because of anything, it just as life goes, people come into your life and they leave, and that's what it was. And at the time I didn't know how it had affected me until I looked back, and after it happened I said to myself that, do you know what, I absolutely hate boys, I hate men, but at the same time I didn't want to be as feminine as I was. So I went from being this girly girl that likes pink, that likes to dress up, that likes to try on her mum's shoes, that likes to, take her mum's lipstick, to becoming a tomboy. And I didn't want anything to do with dresses and skirts, and I didn't want anything to do with sparkly shoes. I wanted trainers. I played football. I played football with the boys in school. The boys in school tried to push me away, and I'd still force myself and play football with them. I was having fights with boys whilst I was in primary school. I just didn't want that feminine side of me, but at the same time I also despised boys. So it was a battle of the mind, because it's a situation whereby I don't really want to be as feminine as I am, but at the same time I don't like boys, but I wanted to be like them because I felt as though if I was like them, then it would prevent anything from happening to me. So I became really tough and on the inside. Like, it was like I had a shield, like a massive padlock on my heart that wouldn't allow me to show emotion. I didn't believe in showing emotion. If someone got hurt or if something happened to somebody, I'd be like, oh well, such is life. That was the kind of outlook I had on life. And at the beginning I thought, oh, I'm just a really strong person, but little did I know that that strength that I saw, that strength that I thought I saw, was actually me being a really bitter person, being a really pessimistic person. That's the kind of person I became. When it happened, I kept it to myself. I couldn't come out to tell anybody because I'd been threatened that if I said, I would never see my parents again, and it was hard. When I was told that, I went quiet, I went silent, and I thought, okay, that's it then. I can never say anything. And I said to myself that, well, in that case, then nobody's ever going to hear about this story, ever. No one. No one that's friends with me, not my family. No one is ever going to know this. I'm not telling anybody. I'm keeping it to myself. And I kept it to myself, and it was just eating me up inside. And it continuously ate me up inside. I was continuously angry, constantly angry with myself, and I didn't know why, because part of me saw it that it was my fault, but then part of me saw it as that I was a victim, and I just didn't know how to come to terms with it. I didn't want pity from people. I didn't like it when people were trying to even show me sympathy related to something completely different. I just didn't like being sympathized with, no. But at the same time, I wanted pity, but I didn't want it. It doesn't make sense, but in my head, I wanted people to feel sorry for me. I wanted to feel loved. I wanted to feel as though, you know, people liked me. I wanted to be liked by everybody. So when that didn't happen, it had a really negative impact on me. It's like I wanted everybody to be my friend, but at the same time I was trying to be antisocial and I was trying to keep myself to myself. And it was just a constant internal battle within my mind. And I got to secondary school, and I went to an all-girls school. And me saying this now, you might think, oh, that would have been really nice, there's no boys in the environment, but it was the most difficult 7 years of my life that I had ever experienced, because I was in an environment full of girls where everyone was, you know, all girly and everything, and then you reach the stage where you're like 12, 13, 14, and girls start talking about boys, and they start talking about, oh, this guy's really cute and this guy's really cute, and whenever the topic of boys would come up, it did something to me on the inside. I couldn't come to terms with it. I couldn't deal with it. It was just difficult. And as I got older, as you do, you get older, you develop, and guys started showing interest, and I hated it. I couldn't stand it. I hated it with all my heart. Even going, you know, to and from school, getting on the bus, another boy my age showing interest in me, you know, I'd be like, shut up, leave me alone. You know, I would use any whatever language would come into my head, I would use it against them, because I just hated. I had in my mind that I hate boys. All boys are the same. All men are the same. I hate guys. That was what I had in my mind. And but through all of this, nobody knew. No one knew what was going on with me. And the day I actually decided to tell my parents, I was about 13, and the police had come to my school and said that if anything like this has ever happened to you, you need to open up, because it was wrong. And before that, it was difficult. I knew it was wrong, but I didn't know how it was wrong, and I didn't know what had been done to me. And because of the threat that I'd received, I didn't want to say anything. But then it got to a point and I sat down and I was like, but how long can I really keep this to myself for? My parents deserve to know. So I couldn't even tell my mum face to face, so I sent her a text saying what I had to say. And when I got home, you know, both my parents were there. I went through the whole police system. I had to stand up in court and defend myself. I got given the option of being given a lawyer when I was in court, but I said no. I said I didn't want it. And they thought I was crazy. They thought I didn't know what I was doing. And I said, no one can tell my story better than me. Not even a lawyer who's he could have worked as a lawyer for 40 years. There is no way he can portray my story better than I can. I am the one it happened to, so I am the one that can talk about it, and I'm the one that can say exactly what it did to me, exactly what happened. That can all come from me. It doesn't need to come from anybody else. It doesn't deserve to come from anybody else. It needs to come from me. And although people might have thought, why would you do that? It was, for me, it was a point whereby I said to myself, this is part of my healing process. If I can stand up in front of court, in front of a jury, and tell my story, surely that is the beginning of my self-healing. And at the time, although I hadn't decided, I was still against the idea of forgiving the person. I wanted to heal myself. I didn't know that forgiveness had anything to do with my healing, but I just thought about my personal healing and myself. So I went through the whole court proceedings. You know, the person was prosecuted. I didn't feel like I received full justice, but at least I felt like I'd taken a step and I'd done something, and my parents had supported me to do something against what had happened to me. But that wasn't the end of it. If anything, that was just the beginning, because from that point on I thought, okay, I've been to court, I've done what I've had to do, so I'm fine. But I wasn't fine, because it still played on my mind. I still had sleepless nights. I still had the nights where I would go to bed, I'd close my eyes and I would have nightmares. And but I couldn't tell anybody. I didn't tell anyone this, because I thought, I don't want to be a burden. I don't want my parents to think I'm a burden. I was offered counselling and I turned it away, and I said, no. Why do I need to go and sit there for somebody to keep asking me repeated questions about what happened to me? I don't want to relive it. I've relived it once. I've had to relive it twice in court. That's it. That's enough. I don't need to relive it again. And I didn't really know that it was doing anything to me until one day I remember just standing at the bus stop waiting for the bus, and I don't know how or why, but a thought just came into my head, and I was just like, if I take a step into the road right now and a car hits me, that's it, I'm gone. But it's no big deal. If I'm gone, I'm gone. It's fine. I'm not scared of dying. And as quickly as the thought came, it left. And I was like, oh, I'm just being silly. No, it's nothing to do with that. And then again, I was on the underground, and I was like, if I take a step onto that track and the train hits me, that's it. I'm dead. I'm gone. But it's no big deal. And then again, as quickly as the thought came, it left. And I sat down and I was like, why do I keep having thoughts about me stepping into the road and something hitting me, or me stepping onto the rail track and a train hitting me? Why am I feeling like this? I didn't think to myself in my head that I was feeling suicidal. I didn't think it was that deep. And then one day I remember I came home, and I don't know what happened, but I went to look in the mirror and I didn't like the reflection I saw. I was like, I've got spots, and I'm not as pretty as the other girls in my class. I'm not as pretty as the people I see on TV. I'm not as pretty as my friends around me. Why am I like this? And I just started overthinking. I was like, God, why is my life like this? I've been through this. I've been sexually abused. You know, I've never really had real friends. You know, I wouldn't say I've been bullied in school, but at the same time, I've been teased and I've let it go. Why is this happening to me? Is my life not worth living? And that night, before I went to sleep, I had a box of ibuprofen, and I just put it next to me on the bed, and I stared at it for about 2 minutes. And the first thought I flashed my head was like, yeah, just take all the tablets, sleep. You won't wake up. It's fine. Write a note before you sleep, and and in the morning when your parents wake up, they'll see the note. And I thought it'd be that easy, but I don't know if you've ever tried or if you've ever attempted, but it is not an easy thing to say that you're going to end your life. It's really not. It's not easy, and the battle that goes on in your mind before you say you're going to do that is intense. So I opened the box, and I remember I took 8 tablets, and I said a prayer before I slept, and I said, God, thank you for my life, and I'm sorry that I didn't see that it was good enough, but even though I know my parents love me, I know my younger brother loves me, and I know you love me, but I don't love myself, and I feel as though if I don't love myself, then my life is not worth living, so I need to let it go. So that was the prayer I said before I slept. I slept, and next morning my alarm went off, and I thought to myself, what? Wait, no, this can't be right. And I opened my eyes and I looked outside, and I could still see through my pink curtains, and I looked to the left, and the mess that I'd left in my room was still there, and I was like, what? Why am I awake? Wait, I took all these tablets. Why am I awake? And as much as I felt annoyed, I felt so relieved, and that was the point where I knew that no, surely God has a purpose for my life. Surely my life wasn't meant to end at that point. And I was actually thankful that my life didn't end. I don't know why I was thankful at that point, but I was thankful that my life didn't end. And from that point, I said, you know what, no, I need to take a step towards healing myself. I need to get better, because I can't go through this again, because next time, who knows what I'm going to take. Next time, who knows what extent I'm going to go to try and end my life. And through all of this, nobody knew. My parents didn't know. I'm so good at hiding things. I'm so good at hiding my emotions. I could be upset and I'll be sitting in front of you and I will be smiling. I became a professional fake smiler. It was like I had a PhD in smiling and being happy. That was me. People will tell you now that, oh, Emmanuella, no, nothing bothers her. She's always happy. But no, that was the exterior that I put out. But when I went home and when I went into my room and at night when everybody was sleeping, that was when I was going through the inner turmoil. That was when my heart was breaking. That was when I was hurting. That was when I would sit on my bed and I would say, God, why me? God, what is my purpose in life? Why can't I do this? Why can't I do that? It got to a point where little things were bothering me. Like I had spots and I got annoyed. I was like, why do I have spots? So-and-so is the same age as me. So-and-so is the same age as me. They don't have spots. What is going on with my life? Why can't I dance as well as this person? Why can't I sing as well as this person? I sing, but when I sing, I'm not good enough. But this person is amazing. I started to look at the negatives within my life. I couldn't see anything positive about my life. And at the same time, I was still being eaten up by unforgiveness because I hadn't decided to take the step of forgiving the person that had hurt me. And I didn't think and I didn't know that forgiveness was the main reason why I was going through what I was going through and the reason why I was hurting. And one day my friend looked at me and he was like, are you happy? And I was like, yeah, of course I am. What kind of question is that? And he was like, no, you're not. I mean, are you really happy? Because I'm looking at you, you're not happy. You may have come, done your makeup, you're dressed nicely, but I can see you're not happy. And I looked at him and I was like, what do you mean you can see through me? Like, are you God? You can't see through me. I'm fine. Leave me alone. And that was the exterior that I put out. And that night when I got home, I cried mercilessly. I cried and cried and cried. I cried until the next morning my eyes were just puffballs. I cried hard because there was no lie in what he was saying. It was all true. And I just started to contemplate everything that had happened to me up until that point. And it was difficult to see that one encounter, one experience, me being sexually abused had opened a door of so many things that had, you know, that could have had the potential to ruin my life, could have had the potential to hurt me in more ways than it could have possibly done. And I didn't realise that there was anything wrong with me until I really sat down and I thought, okay, sit down, think about your life, and okay, like, yeah, you're fine. Academically, you're on track, you're amazing. And I was like, but look away from the academics. When you take yourself out of the academics, what do you have? What is your life like? And I realised that everything that had happened to me had caused me to become somewhat bitter within myself. And as much as I said I hated guys, when a guy came up to me and spoke to me, I was nervous and I felt vulnerable. And my mind would revert back to my 9-year-old self. So it got to a point where if a guy was speaking to me face to face, I couldn't look him in the eye. I'd be looking elsewhere. I could never look him in the eye. And this has been going on up until only last year that I fully came to terms with it. But I could never look a guy in the eye. And any guy that came to speak to me, I instantly thought they wanted to do something bad to me. And so I would push them away. And as much as I'd push them away, I found it so difficult to stand up for myself and to be authoritative and to say if I wasn't happy with something. It was so hard. It was so difficult. I cannot express how difficult that has been. And I continuously said to myself, like, see, this is why I think that guys are bad. And like I said before, like, as I developed, you know, I grew up, you know, I was wearing clothes, you know, tight fitting clothes and all sorts, and guys were showing more and more interest in me, and I hated it. I hated it so much. As much as I felt like I looked good, I hated it. I was like, why are they doing this to me? Go and annoy somebody else. Go and talk to someone else. You know, if someone told me I was pretty, I was like, you're lying. I'm not pretty. Leave me alone. That was how I felt, and it was an ongoing battle until the day that I said to myself that, you know what, all of this, it needs to come to an end. It needs to stop. I need to know who I am, because right now I don't know who I am. I don't know what I stand for. Right now I feel like I stand for a girl that was sexually abused when she was younger, and a girl who is going to be constantly haunted by her past. That is not what I want to stand for. And I took a step and I said, do you know what, from this day forward, there are certain negative things that I am going to delete from my life. Disappointment, hurt, anger. I don't know you anymore. You don't have a place in my life anymore. From this day forward, no matter what life throws at me, you can throw the whole of Russia on me. I don't care. I will fight it, and I will fight it 10 times better than anybody else that has ever lived. That is what I said to myself. And the minute I developed that mindset, that's when the challenges started even coming more. But the more the challenges came, the stronger my faith became. And the harder the challenges hit me, the harder I fought back. And that has been my life for the last 2 to 3 years. That is what I've been doing. Challenge upon challenge will come, and I will just fight it, and I will push it away, and I will fight it. And when I look back on my life now, I look at where I was and I look at where I am now. I have so much to be thankful for. No matter what comes my way, I will never ever ever cease to say thank you, God, for my life, because I am at a point in my life where I never thought I'd get to. I never thought I would be able to sit here today to share my story on camera. And there are people out there who know me, and I know this will be a complete shock. They'll be so surprised at what I'm saying. But I am saying it not because I want to come and sit for everybody to know about my life, but I'm saying this because I want this to encourage somebody. I want this to inspire somebody. I don't want somebody to go through what I went through. I don't want you to sit on your bed with a box of pills next to you. I don't want you to get to that point. I want you to conquer those inner demons before they have a chance to conquer you. Because one thing you need to understand is that everything that happened to you does not mean that you are a victim. I don't see myself as a victim, no. I feel as though what I went through, no matter how bad it was, it has shaped me into the person I am now. I am trying to take the positive out of what happened to me. Yes, it was a negative experience, but it was a negative experience that's brought a positive outcome. That is how I see it. I feel like my life is full of positivity. It has made me and shaped me into the person I am today. I thank God for not showing me the pity that I wanted to see. Because if He'd shown me that pity, I would be a very broken person right now. But because God tested my faith, because He brought these things against me, that is the reason why I'm able to sit here and I can say that I am a strong individual, because I have the strength of the Lord within my heart. And because of that strength within my heart, that is the reason why I can come and sit here and speak, because I want it to inspire somebody. I want you to be blessed by this, and I want you to be able to come and say what's happened to you, because what happened to you was not your fault. But from speaking about it, that is going to be your step to healing. My name is Emmanuella Nana Martha, and I have been renewed.